on the creativity part of online learning and entrepreneurship. Like if I'm your student, or being your ambassador, what would I be, let's say a student first, what would I be able to learn? How can I unlock my creativity?
And what I would do is train the ambassadors. The thing that I want them to do is to actualize the concept of being an ambassador. We want to extract the potential out of our participants. So there is a no fail. There's nothing wrong. We want curiosity to drive what you're doing. And so I would ask the ambassador to push them to try anything. It doesn't have to be the best thing, but the key to STEM, the challenge for STEM for most is the fear of failure. If you can get over, errors, then that's basically what.
Yeah, I tell you, I think you just hit the nail on the head. When you say about STEM, the fear of failing is almost 100%.
Exactly.
Why? Because you cannot expect a science and a mathematics teacher to teach engineering that they are not familiar with. So the word STEM doesn't work well if you do not have teachers who are engineer trained. And how many teachers in the world in schools are engineers? Very few.
Very few.
So that fear of failing is almost like you ask me to teach law or legal studies when I'm an engineer into a high school. How am I going to survive? So that fear is constant. It doesn't go away because fundamentally STEM expect teachers, science teachers, maths teachers to teach engineering. So we then have to overcome that because I believe in STEM. STEM, we, believe it or not, we meet because we were interested, right? We were interested because we brought STEM from America into Australia and now into the wider Asia community. And we are the one who did it. And the thing that triggered us off was a report by commissioned by President Reagan. Reagan commissioned a report called A Nation at Risk. And it's, I don't only need to flip through it to understand the fear of Reagan at that time. And basically STEM equals to money. If you don't have money, you don't have security. As simple as that. Don't need to go further. That's his simple report. That's say STEM for the whole of America. But again, the underlying thing that you want to make money is engineering, which you are not trained to. So then we say, how do we solve that problem of STEM? So we come up with a solution of simplify. In other words, you need a lot of engineers, right? We will produce the engineers for you. You want 1 billion also, we can give it to you. And it's in the form of a technology. See, the engineers, the virtual engineer that we created in schools are called Run-Links.
Run-Links.
See, yeah, RUNLINC.com. I think Miro has put something there. We will show you. It takes only about 10 minutes to do a demonstration.
Sure.
Now, Run-Link engineer, call it, right? I started by saying you cannot teach STEM if you are not familiar with engineering. And in fact, it's extremely damaging for teachers who pick the wrong technology because they are not familiar, right? So it's basically blind leading the blind. So teachers follow other teachers because they have no choice. There is only Arduino in the world at the moment in order to help teachers, help students and teachers to make IoT projects, Internet of Things project. Already I started by saying, you are not engineers, you're bound to select the wrong thing. In fact, you don't select, you just follow the blind. A blind person follow the blind because they say it's okay. Then you have no choice because you don't have the knowledge to evaluate it. And you are so tired, you don't even want to look for another technology like ours. Because Arduino is about 15 years old. Arduino. You have come across Arduino if you're playing with STEM.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, okay. I don't need to go further. So then how does this conversation come about that we have proof? We have a comparative research paper from Bhutan, a farming community that has a university called Royal University of Bhutan. And these are guys that are educated in America, in Australia, in England, in Canada, right? And so they went home to serve the country, and they decided, sure, we need STEM, but we need to choose the right technology. So the only technology they know at that time was Arduino. Until 6 months ago, 5 months ago, they did a research paper because somehow, right, by Harry Potter's magic, we landed in the technology park of Bhutan. And there, within about 2 days, we got the hackathon winners, the top supposedly to be engineer graduates, fresh graduates from the university, to know that they have never heard of the word STEM, number one. This is a tech park, technology park, commissioned by the king, His Majesty the King, right? A few years already, 8 years already existed. So then they started comparing it to Run-Linc. And in one line of coding or program, you can connect your, to create vision by connecting your camera to my laptop, your camera in Bhutan to my laptop in Australia, or vice versa. One line of code. Okay, with 2 lines of code, using Run-Linc, you will be able to make your own web page with 2 buttons. Your own web page with 2 buttons, 2 lines of code. Yeah, the button, this page is actually inside a Wi-Fi chip. Anywhere in the world, the Wi-Fi chip, right? It's so small, like the size of your thumbnail. So that page attached inside the Wi-Fi chip, attached to the lights, to water, to anything you want to on and off. It takes only 2 lines of HTML and and JavaScript. With 3 lines of code, you can add on artificial intelligence voice. You type into Run-Linc, police is on the way. It's a text, right? Your photo has been sent to the police. Go away. This is the intruder alarm. So with 1 line, you can see somebody is trying to enter your house. The vision, with 2 lines, you'll be able to scare off the intruder by on and off the lights or the sound. And with 3 lines of code inside the Run-Linc web page, it's like a form you fill in, then you'll be able to scare off the intruder by activating the artificial intelligence voice in the browser, by converting the text that you type in. Police on the way, your photo has been sent to the police, run, right? Try to integrate these 3, vision control and AI voice using Arduino. It will cost you a few hundred lines. And no 10-year-old will be interested because we have to start early because of the creativity. NASA has done a research to say 10 years old, your creativity is only about 30%. So you need a platform to recall your creativity from hibernation, because creativity you cannot kill, because it's a form of energy. It's mental energy, right? It makes sense, I think, logical sense.
It cannot be created nor destroyed. Just goes from one place to the next. Yeah,
you change from sound to light or to heat, whatever, right? In this case, you just go to sleep. And when you go to, I talked to a 9-year-old Puchong in Nepal, another one of the least developed countries, 47 of them in the world. And I asked him, you know, what happened if before you go to school? She said, I leave my creativity at home because I was never asked to solve any problem. I don't need imagination. I don't need any ideas. I'm asked only to regurgitate, to by heart, to memorize facts 90% of the time. So why do I need creativity? So I leave it at home. So that's why I dropped to 30% at about 9-10 years old. So I said, what about me then? I'm 65 years old. I should be 0. He said, no, Dr. Peng, it cannot be 0 because the law. I said, who says so? He said the law of conservation of energy says so. I said, really? And then he typed into Google, you see, and he found that it says energy cannot be created or destroyed. So then we work out logically that if creativity is a form of mental energy, the keyword there is energy, then you cannot kill it. So then I said, how do I recall my creativity from hibernation then, from sleeping? He said, all you have to do is start using your Run-Linc to solve problems. I make a smart farm. I turn on and off sound and lights in Yoofi's house. You need to have some imagination, yeah, and make sure that this become quality education. And then you tick off the United Nations SDG, Sustainable Development Goal. Quality education is one of them. Yeah, same as we're trying to teach Ghana, Cameroon, Nigeria, Uganda, Nepal, Bhutan. So those are creative thinking, and you need that, he said. So then you need imagination and idea to use quality education to have gender equality. That is pure creativity, no? So listening to this Zoom conversation was the UNESCO chief in Nepal, and then our friend, the consul general from Nepal in Adelaide, where we live. They were all on Zoom, and he couldn't believe what they were hearing spontaneously. The UNESCO man said, "That's my job, and I will look for you all the puchungs that you need in Nepal to train them." And so now we are onto a project where they're now doing a research to select the most effective technology to introduce STEM. Whatever you want to call it, it's still the same. You cannot teach the E. So unless you have the technology that is a virtual engineer, you will fail. And if you pick the wrong technology, then it's just like you have 10,000 students on a pilot project, and you pilot them for 1 year of trial, then you would have lost 10,000 student years.
Wow.
You see, it is this sort of creative words, ideas that get people to say, wow, can you know how much I lost by using Arduino? Looking for the dots and the comma. While it's almost like, I told a Cameroon student today in Boya, you have a choice of either swimming across the river full of crocodiles to get to from IR 3.0 to 4.0 on the other side. Or you take the bridge. It's called Run-Linc. The name of the bridge is called Run-Linc.
Take the bridge.
Yeah. he laughed until he couldn't sleep. It's also 1 o'clock in the morning. I said, why you get up so early? He said, he couldn't sleep. I said, you must have been having a lot of fun thinking about the bridge or the river. And so these are the sort of things, Yoofi, that commonly, I answer your question already. America is far behind in STEM. And we know that because we brought STEM into Australia and into Asia now. And we are going to re-export STEM into America. And if I have to use will I am, I will. Let's have a song.
He's a future guy too. He's a futuristic guy too, so he definitely will help.
Oh, he gave 500,000 pounds to Prince Charles Foundation of Science in London.
He understands.
So he's already addicted to STEM. This man,
yes,
he's on addiction. He's got STEM addiction.
It's very easy. It's an amazing concept. Someone asked, the name of our organization is the Idea Farm Academy, and they said, why did you choose the Idea Farm? And I said, I shortened the Idea Farm into the IF Academy, but I couldn't really do the IF Academy because people would wonder why do you have IF as your academy? What does IF stand for? And so I broke the IF down to Idea and Farm. And I had...
Well, idea is creativity.
It's creative.
You type into Wikipedia, you see creativity equals to ideas and imagination.
Yes. And that's what I explained. You have to nurture these concepts. Creativity has to be nurtured. It has to find a place where it can grow.
You see, if I can use back the STEM principles, right? My brains have two halves, like yours. The left logical is called the STEM. The right creative is called the SEL, social enterprise learning. So holistically, we're using our gifted brain already. Why leave half a brain at home and use half a brain to learn, to regurgitate theory in school? A 9-year-old boy got it already. He's not a professor, he's not a genius. He just have two teachers. I am teaching him concepts, and he type into Google. He call it Dr. Google. As soon as I type into Google, he start reading it out for me. I'm learning from him. I'm learning from a 9-year-old kid. But as soon as I use this concept to teach him, he will become a super IR 4.0.
Yes.
There's no other way to describe teaching. You just have to do it. You have to make it exciting and interesting and hook them on, rather than playing games, which is going to destroy your economy.
But sometimes you have to destroy to create. And right now, if you continue the economy in the way it is, a lot of people don't realize, but the pandemic was the best thing to happen to the world, because it forced many countries in the world to adopt STEM industries, STEM related technologies, and to operate with more efficiency. Most of what we were doing was micromanaging and serving the lower half of our intelligence. And we cannot.
Simply put, I call it going round in a circle.
That's what we've been doing. And we needed to stop.
So I think you have enough proof to justify what you say there. Of course, nobody like you when you say something like that. US is very far. I'm just reading what you type here. US is very far behind in STEM, and I would love to actualize the spirit of STEM ambassador for our programming. Can you see how much creativity is what we just did?
Yes.
If I'm just a zombie and just regurgitate and be an engineer, I will not be interested to connect with you. But yet, that gave us the biggest pleasure of through Malaysia, and the organizers should know that. You should write to them and say, thank you for your platform. I just found what I wanted.
I will.
From Australia, not from Malaysia, you tell them. And good luck to you. If you want to cross the river by swimming, good luck.
No.
Or you want to go up if you want to go up the Trump Tower by walking, good luck to you too. We will be taking the lift.
I don't want to fool with that. I want the bridge. I want the bridge to
you don't want to walk up the Trump Tower or the Empire State Building, do you?
No,
rather than taking the lift, 2 minutes you get up there. So this is what I mean by incremental creativity. It becomes so powerful, because imagine you walk up there, you take a few hours, right? And especially the kids, you take a bunch of kids to walk up there, and then I take the lift, or others take the lift, and 2 minutes they get up there, they'll be waiting for you and wondering what to do. They will use the time, 90% of the time they save, to recall creativity from hibernation. And adding to the age, everybody can do it, whether it's a 10-year-old or a 60-year-old mentor. The 60-year-old, but plus another 10 times more creativity from 0.1%, NASA say, to 1%, you will be able to solve a lot of problems in the world, especially what Hawkins say. Hawkins says AI will destroy humanity. Where is the proof? Plenty, including AI water, besides AI virus, which has manifested 12 months ago, right?
Yes.
Because you can reconstruct that thing to fight a virus, you need AI to reconstruct it. And that thing could escape. Or the machine will reconstruct it without you even knowing, because you train it to do it. So this COVID-19 will be COVID until COVID-50 maybe.
Wow.
It's not going to stop. So how do we justify lives depend on AI? And the way that he sounded before he died, Hawkins says that, right? You Google it. He didn't go far enough, obviously, to have a conversation with people like ourselves. He basically say in his mind that AI will destroy humanity if you don't manage it, right? So How do we prove it? The proof is AI facial recognition, mildly. You know the story already, right? I don't have to tell you that. 1 million slaves in the world.
No, I didn't know that.
You didn't know? Well,
No.
I mean, it's on the news all the time. It's political, right? So I don't want to dwell into that. Basically, I facial recognize you, I give you social credit. If your social credit is below a certain amount, I will send a drone and keep you locked up.
Wow.
It's already happening. Exported to 50 countries already. And I didn't believe it when I saw on television on a documentary in Australia, and the invention is actually from Australia. I didn't know we're turning people into human slaves here.
Wow.
Okay, so that's one aspect. I call it mild. If you want to compare it then to AI water. Why do I call everything AI? Because that's what it is. How do we justify AI water? Okay. Let's start with, do I need water to survive? I think so. 8 billion people needs it. All the living organism needs it. Life depends on water. Then does water depends on microchip programming? Yes. If not, I will not touch the glass of water. You need to filter it. You need to put the right chemicals to mix it. Right?
Yes.
And then, therefore, water depends on microchip programming, MP. So then what is MP? Is MP equal to AI? How do you equate the 4 letters? Intelligence is programming or not? Obviously it is. Otherwise, what do you call programming? Right? So you have circle programming, P equal to I, intelligence. You're only left with artificial and microchip. It's rather obvious then for a 10-year-old kid to piece it together. Microchip is actually an artificial brain. Therefore, AI is equal to microchip programming. Therefore, microchip programming is necessary to keep you alive because it needs to process your water. Therefore, life depends on AI. No escape.
Yes.
No escape. So it's because of this extra time that we have. Because we have engineers in schools now called the virtual engineer called Run-Linc to teach kids quickly 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines to make an intruder alarm with vision that you can control anywhere in the world. That's the simplest IoT project that you can put into animation. And then they give them a choice. You want to swim across a river or take the stairs to go up the Empire State Building? Be my guest. Full of crocodiles there. So you either take the lift or you take the bridge. And take many other things just to shorten the time. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure money will be flooding into you in order to solve the problem.
Yes.
Because Microsoft, Google do not have what we have invented here. Do you know where Wi-Fi was invented?
Where was it invented?
Australia.
And we use Wi-Fi
without knowing it, without even thinking that it's free. Before, yes. You know, Apple used it, they thought that it was free. If you Google it, they pay $200 million loyalty.
Wow.
Royalty. It's all open news, right? So we have now invented a web page that is hosted by Wi-Fi chips. The size of your thumbnail. Soon it would have camera, everything. Right? A simple Wi-Fi chip that will become, I don't know, $1.
Maybe less.
Some already a few cents.
Yes.
So everybody would have access to it. Elon Musk, when he make internet accessible, everybody will go AI in Ghana. If Ghana is your passion, yes. So your heritage is from Ghana.
I didn't hear the last part.
Your heritage. Were you originally?
My mother, born, raised in Ghana. She was born in Accra. My father is from here. He joined the Peace Corps and went to Ghana and married, had my older sister. And the only reason why we came back was my father's parents wanted to see his wife, wanted to see his new child. So he had to come back.
Amazing.
He didn't want to come back.
What a story.
Yeah, he didn't want to come back, but his mother made him come back.
You know, I bet you if I have relatives in Cameroon, with similar surnames like me, but they are Africans. I bet you in Ghana, I will have relatives too. And who are these relatives of mine? They are cocoa pickers who never tasted chocolate. Don't laugh too loud. It's too early in the morning.
You're a funny guy. You know a lot. You know.
Some creativity, you see. That's why I call it Harry Potter, real life Harry Potter world that we are living in now for a few people. It's hilarious. When I first met these guys in Bangladesh, in Dhaka, on a social business conference, he gave me a card. I said, "Are you serious? Why you have Chinese name here?" He said, "I don't know. This is Chinese. This is my name." I said, "Then let me trace it." And this is exactly my tribe, not only Chinese. Chinese have, I don't know, 100 over tribes, right? Ethnic groups. And we are called the Hakka. You write it down, Hakka. Hakka. I'll send you. I'll send you Laszlo Montgomery's Hakka story. He's an American historian. He studied Hakka. Of all the tribes, he decided to study Hakka. There are 50 million Hakka diaspora in the world. So these are all your friends. If you find me the Hakka relatives, my relatives in Ghana. I bet you find plenty in San Francisco and LA. All the Chinatowns in the world were built by Hakkas. Hakka means guest of families. We have no home. I think one of the reasons, of course, the two reasons are war and famine. I think one of the reasons that I was told was we believe in gender equality so much so that we lost our identity. So we become guests of family. We believe in
guests of the family.
We believe in gender equality so much.
Become the guest.
Yeah, we lost our home. We become guests of people.
The guest.
Yeah. So this is hilarious. And I tell you, there is a reason why they started this Hakka clan. It's a clan. It's just like you go back to Ghana, there are many tribes, right? So we are just one of those tribes. But we are in, if you find a Chinaman about 4 generations ago, I don't know, 100 years, 150 years, it bounds and more or less show that they're Hakkas. Amazing, isn't it? So 150 years later, from marrying a local, just like your father, if your father is a Chinaman and went to Ghana to marry a wife, the first generation will be brown.
Yep.
And then after that, it'll be black again.
Yep.
So that's why they didn't. But the name doesn't change though, because they're Hakka. The surname doesn't change, you see, in Chinese tradition, culture. So the Chia, C-H-I-A in Cameroon, I immediately recognized it, you see. I said, this must be Hakka people. So then when they went home, I said, can you find me other names that sounds like Chia? And they found Yong. Yong, my wife is a Yong. I said, then I don't have to test your DNA. You must be a Hakka. Find me more. So to have friends, then using your creative, you put on your creative hat, right? After what I said to you, from now on, you don't call it Run-Linc. You call it the Hakka technology, so that a lot of friends will join you, you see, in America. You say to them, I'm a member of the Hakka Association in Cameroon. Really? From Africa, you have Chinese Hakka? Yes. Yeah. Can I join your Hakka Association in Georgia?
I'll say, be my guest.
Can you imagine you go to a real Hakka Association you don't have to go there, in Edmonton, in New York. There's lots of them. 50 million Hakkas, man. So imagine you go to contact them in LA or San Francisco, the Hakka Association, there are plenty there. Yeah, or Vancouver, you say, you show your picture, I'm actually a member of a Hakka Association of Cameroon. Can I join your Hakka Association? Because I want to share with you a Hakka story. Because we are going to save the world from AI destruction. Yes. See what they say. You know, from today, just barely 2 hours ago, we met. You have more or less the context of why we are talking already.
Yes.
From technology to the Hakka technology, because there are 50 million of us. And
Yes.
I bet you some of them will be very keen to want to know what you're talking about, Hakka technology to save the world.
They want to work with us.
Well, why not? I mean, at the moment, your children are being destroyed anyway. You tell them by the AI because they are addicted to it.
Yes.
The games. So do you want me to solve your problem? Because I have one that you tell them I'm just a wanderer in the world. Yeah, we are the Hakka. We are the wanderer. We're not gypsies. We are the wanderer. You understand?
Yes. Different.
Yeah, because we have no home, right? So we are the global citizen. The whole world is our home.
Yes.
Especially internet says so now. There's no geographical boundary anymore.
We're on the World Wide Web and on the real world web.
Yeah. So can you imagine you join all these Hakka association? I think, is that creativity, Yoofi?
That's creativity.
Is that creativity on the fly?
That is.
Your senses is your eyes, your ears, you see it, you hear it, you do it. There's no planning. Why do you want to waste time planning? When it's so obvious, you press a button, you go up 2 minutes, up to 100 story already. Or you're welcome to take the ladder. Or either you take the bridge or you swim across the river. So this is now proven in Bhutan. We are onto the Royal Bhutan Smart City project using Run-Linc. So these two professors from Sri Lanka and Bhutan wrote a comparative paper between STEMSEL, Run-Linc and Arduino, which they used to teach. So they claim that this is 10 times faster. What happened if the king discovered I'm supposed to be teaching using the best technology to teach his citizens, you know? So they quickly got it accepted by IEEE in Canada because they want to play safe. So that is peer reviewed and accepted for conference presentation in IEEE Canada. You have 500,000 membership there. IEEE is American based, Institution of Electrical Electronic Engineers.
Yes.
So they have created the gold standard. They have created the story of either the bridge called Run-Linc or the Hakka technology, or you swim across the river. You have two choices.
Hakka technology is better for you.
Yeah, the bridge is better for you to go across and go on to Industry Revolution 4.0. So I think I have just saved you a lot of time from wasting your breath on people. Tell them something they want to hear. Tell them there is you have the secret already of a simple secret of either you swim or you bridge it, or you take a lift, or you take. It's so simple to tell this story. The metaphor, it's not funny.
Huh.
And
So
you just connect it. You just connect it to the creative part of it, the Hakka technology. Make it funny. Mm-hmm. One line of code, you'll be able to create that vision. He will send you the 5 online projects that you do not need any hardware. No hardware Wi-Fi chip is made online. And then you can try them out when you're free and forward it to all your friends. Give them a chance to network with you. So then you have a lot of ambassadors coming to you see? And then the other project is object recognition, AI object recognition. Is also there in the 5 projects, traffic lights and things like that, right? And 2 lines to make that web page yourself with two buttons that will be able to on and off our lights in Australia that is connected to the Wi-Fi chip. So the long and short of this is a paradigm shift in programming.
Yes.
So we have shifted it from cable-based to Wi-Fi based now. We actually program inside the browser, not inside the computer. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you understood it because as a person interested in this type of work, this is how you show the point of differentiation. This is really different. And that's why we have access to internet of things that has about 30-something billion items connected to it that is public.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, look, you will see that they will have to adopt this sort of technology over there if they want real STEM, because that technology is basically the virtual engineer in schools.
Yes, and that's the number one thing is you are correct. There has to be a paradigm shift when you are behind the time, behind a veil, unaware. You have to change the paradigm in order to be on the right STEM, SEL. That's both sides of the brain. You
Yeah,
got the brain
social enterprise learning.
That's the whole brain.
Yeah. Invention for social good. This is Hong Kong. These are kids from Africa in Hong Kong learning stem cell through this ambassador of ours. And you may one day meet up with him. He's a good friend of Obama. Obama love him, give him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Is Muhammed Yunus from Bangladesh, a Nobel laureate in microfinance, helping the poor people to get out of poverty. Now he said you cannot do it anymore because AI has destroyed all his micro businesses. Can you imagine in Ghana, he lent $1,000 for them to start making cakes. And up the road, there is a factory that is fully automated with AI, making cakes. So on board, it's done, it's finished.
Wow.
It's not sustainable. So he said AI is like 6 Alibabas in the world. You know what it means by 6 Alibaba, right? The Facebook, the Amazon, the Google, right? 6 of them add together, the amount of money they have is the same as 4 billion people, half of the world's population at the bottom half of the pyramid. So how could you have a sustainable financial system? He's an economics. He went to uni with in Vanderbilt University with Hillary Clinton.
Wow.
So we hosted him. Can you see what he's wearing? That's our initiative. Dr. Yunus Young Ambassadors. And he signed off everything. So now Joe Biden is back. Clinton's friends, Obama's friends. And I look forward to seeing you for breakfast at the White House.
I want you to be my guest because we're all part of the Hakka, remember? So you'll be my guest.
I can't believe this. I seriously can't believe this conversation. It's beyond Harry Potter. You see, that's him. You see our commitment?
We stand with Dr. Yunus in our commitment to a world of 3-0, zero poverty. Oh, that's amazing. 3-0.
And we hosted him here in Adelaide, in our hometown. It cost $30,000 worth of community money to get him. He's expensive, but we attended conferences with him in Dhaka, in Bangladesh. That's where I met my Hakka relatives. He brought me a lot of happiness without knowing it. And then we went to Paris and tell the story of the Hakka cocoa pickers who never tasted chocolate.
Never tasted. Their fingers tasted it, but they never did.
No, because they just go and grow cocoa and sell it.
That's it.
They have no
have
means.
The plantations, and that's it.
Yeah, and I thought it's and when the Queen of Spain heard about it, because this Yunus knows 200 Obama. That's all you have to know who he is. When you hear the word Yunus, all you have to imagine is this man knows 200 Obama. But his time is running out because he wants to have zero poverty, right? You just read it. He's not going to have zero poverty if he doesn't have 200 Obamas helping him. And the Obama will only help him, or the Joe Biden, if he knows Yoofi's story. If they don't know Yoofi's story, they will not lift a finger for you.
Yeah, I need to get my story out. And this is how we do it. We collaborate. I've learned so much just in the amount of time we've talked. Like I said, I'm going to send an email or a text or some type of communication to STEM Center and express my gratitude, because I would not have met you if I did not join in on that conference. And it was just good luck, good fortune that I got.
Don't tell them Run-Linc, tell them Hakka technology. Finally, I just want to show you this before you go to sleep. This SunWay University has started a Yunus Social Business Center. And this is the Dr. Yunus Young Ambassador. I slot in them without them knowing. Because this is Harry Potter, right? And this is Hakka brother, my Hakka brother. I mean, brother, it's just like you call friends brothers, right? But he's Hakka. And this university belongs to a Chia, C-H-E-A-H, right? Same as those Cameroon Chias. And he's a multi-billionaire.
Wow.
The Chia owns this in Malaysia, this university called SunWay is a multi-billionaire Hakka man. So can you imagine, you said to Chia, I'm a Hakka, a member of a Hakka Association of Ghana. Can you give me 10 scholarships? We want to come to Malaysia to study and make your center really 3 zeros. See, it's all so obvious, so obvious. So I'll say good night to you now, and then we'll resume.